Mallory Pugh finding Crystal Dunn in the 35th minute. Game's only goal. 1-0 for the #1 ranked team in the world at the break. Rob, Allie, Leslie back here with the United States after today. Just one more match before they head to Brazil and the Rio Olympics. Let's take in our first 45 highlights for you. Again, Megan Rapinoe with the team, not available to play today, maybe a little bit later, but her social media game's still on point. Pick things up early on in this one.
Well, that's Kling, and look who's high and central. That's Kristen Press, just senses the pressure, spins her. That is a finish she almost always puts in the back of the net. She tries to curl it around the goalkeeper, but it goes just wide.
Here's another one that the U.S. should have finished, Leslie, in the 20th.
Yeah, I love this ball. Kling splits the midfield. I love Kristen Press's first-time ball in the transition between Pugh and Morgan. Barker makes a great save, and Pugh could have had it, but Van Vick makes also another great save for South Africa.
35th minute, Pugh would get an assist here. Bad turnover, though.
Yeah, but are we sensing a theme? Klingenberg starting all of these attacks. Mallory Pugh in on all of them. Gets that ball wide. Pugh drives end line. Not great pressure. That ball skips its way across the box. Easy finish for Dunn there.
Dunn, 13 international goals. 9 of them have come this calendar year. Let's take another look at that goal, Allie.
Yeah, I love this goal because it starts with Klingenberg getting inside. That's what Jill Ellis won. It was not those fullbacks getting pinned outside. And then Mallory Pugh, she pulls away from the defender with her pace, and all 3 South African players in the box, looking at the ball, not getting a body on the players, makes it an easy finish for Dunn.
Well, it took a while for the U.S. to find a rhythm because of South Africa, but I love Kling's ball. She splits the midfield. This is a great first-time ball that Alex Morgan is so close. Barker comes out, and Mallory Pugh has a great opportunity. But again, Van Vick steps up big for South Africa. This was the start of their offense.
When we return, we're going to show you the stiff challenges that appear to lie ahead for the U.S. men's national team. Carly Lloyd warming up. Will we see the reigning World Player of the Year in the second half? Odds are yes. U.S. up 1-0. Second half kick on the backside. Crystal Dunn with the game's only goal came in the 35th minute. The United States up 1-0. South Africa ranked 52nd in the world. They've already made 2 subs. And we expect, yes, Carly Lloyd to finally take the field, recovering from a knee injury. So the reigning World Player of the Year will start the second 45. And for the call, back to Chicago, John, Tony, and Kat.
Rob, 2 months between games for Club and Country for Carly Lloyd, a sprained knee playing for the Houston Dash. We only expected to see her for 30 minutes. She's on at the half for Lindsey Horan. What do you guys take away from this change made by Jill Ellis?
Well, I just think Carly Lloyd just wants to play, and she probably went in there and said, "Put me in, coach."
Second half underway here in Chicago. Crystal Dunn's goal, the difference maker for the U.S. over South Africa. How do you hope the U.S. will look different in the second half, Kat?
I don't expect much. It's been interesting watching these outside backs be so central. It seems like the center backs don't want to play them as much for fear of a transition ball.
Lloyd winning that header. Morgan couldn't get there in time. Van Vick clears away.
But you will see Carly Lloyd changing lines, getting forward, getting shots on goal as much as possible.
Well, the sub that South Africa were preparing at the end of the half, by the way, they have just made. It's Mudali who is off, and it is Nyandene who is on.
Carly Lloyd said she just felt so fresh and so ready to play, and being healthy so I think she's going to bring something to the U.S.
Yeah, that was interesting that you think of it as, okay, is she going to be 100% physically coming into the Olympics? She felt it was maybe the best thing that could have happened to her to get that type of break, as Morgan's header laid off backwards is beyond press. Sound run forward. Dunn controls it. It's off the face of Nyandene, substitute. Ball looking to turn and run with it. Molo's in front of her. Seopo Senwe. Carly Lloyd just taking her out from behind. Great tackle. So I guess she's feeling all right.
Well, like Kat said, she will change lines. She'll be the highest player, and she'll work to get back into the defense.
Lloyd looking to clip it wide for Pugh. Just knocked away by Johnny. Lepe, well read by Sauerbrunn, although her ball comes sideways. It's kept in behind Mothalo of South Africa.
It's interesting that she talked about the freshness. She had a difficult offseason in terms of busyness. She was constantly flying here, there. She was being pulled in so many different directions. And even though this injury wasn't allowing her on the field, she was able to mentally take a break, and that's what the United States needs.
Pugh from Morgan, presses in the middle, Dunn closing as well. Good tackle away behind by Johnny. And it's the 6th corner of the game for the U.S. upcoming.
And this is what makes Carli Lloyd so special. She tracks back, gets the ball, referee says clean tackle, and the United States is able to retain possession.
And her comments are echoed by Megan Rapinoe, sort of laughed and said it's exhausting to be World Cup champions. All the appearances, all things like that. But they're both getting a break from Sauerbrunn, lifting it in. Barker is there with a good punch. O'Hara holds it in. Little hesitation to try to create space. Now her cross right in front, and that was saved off the line. Allie Long thought for sure she had scored. Barker was at full stretch. There was a defender there as well, and somehow it stayed out.
Villakazi, I think, was on the line. Barker stretched, didn't get it, but Villakazi kept it out.
Motondo Villakazi keeping it at just 1-0 for the U.S. Again, they play the short corner. Back out wide for Pugh. Hooking in the cross, Barker let it go. Didn't reach Dunn. Her pass the wrong side of O'Hara. And it's going to be out for a South Africa throw.
Well, absolutely great play from Villakazi, making sure that she is helping her goalkeeper. And as a goalkeeper, you just thank them for being in that position so they can keep it 1-0.
Denying Allie Long a 3rd career goal for the U.S. as they win an attacking throw.
Especially a goalkeeper that comes for balls. And Barker comes for balls. That's when you want 2 post players on corners.
O'Hara, all the space and time she wants, but misdials the cross. And Lepe trying to start the sequence now for South Africa. Motlou going long. Knocked out by Sauerbrunn. Quickly down to Julie. What Jill Ellis have to say to you?
Well, she said that they need to do a better job of driving the tempo of this game. She said it's a very slow surface. We're being too passive in the back. Need to be more aggressive defending. She wants to see the center backs passing the ball quicker between one another and getting Megan Klingenberg more aggressive and more involved on the flank. She said our attack is too pedestrian at this point. We can see maybe they've already taken that to heart in this second half.
O'Hara skips away from Nyandeme. Headed away by Von Veek, only as far as Lloyd, spinning around Mallerby, who's able to poke it away. O'Hara for Dunn. Unable to keep it. Can she find press? Barker charging out. Morgan took the touch around her and puts the shot just wide. And now she's holding her leg.
That's not what the USA wants to see, for sure.
You guys talked about Alex Morgan battling injuries for a couple of years. 11 goals in 11 games coming into today, leading the United States this year.
Here's the play, and you can see she beats the keeper, but not sure who that was for South Africa. Comes in, interrupts that Villakazi again, interrupts the attempt on goal, makes contact, but Alex Morgan's back up.
We heard Julie give us the comments of Jill Ellis talking about the outside backs, talking about the pedestrian nature of the attack. Sort of echoes what we were talking about during halftime.
I was just talking about how interesting it was, how central the outside backs are. Now, that's what Jill Ellis wants to see from them, but they also need to interchange a little bit more with their wingers and get some overlaps and some crosses in.
Here from Klingenberg. Back for Lloyd. Press, crossing in too far for Dunn. Header only as far as O'Hara, who sends it in the stands.
Now, Kelly O'Hara's right back, but she was Herman Trophy winner as a forward at Stanford. So she does give them an attacking flair. Of course, remember her goal she scored in the World Cup against Germany.
Stanford school record holder as she left school for both goals and assists. Kelly O'Hara. With Lalu.
And she's the kind of player you want on your roster in the Olympics. A versatile player where you can put Ali Krieger in that position and push Kelly O'Hara forward because you're limited in subs and you're limited in depth. You can give some players some rest, and that's what Jill Ellis is looking for when she names that roster.
Well, 18 on the Olympic roster as compared to 23 at a World Cup. And Julie Johnston, she's been watching the European Championships as well because she said you also have the issue of yellow card suspensions, which can come up quick. Press quickly forward from long. Van Veek got her foot in the way. And then a foul.
Yeah, press had Mallory Pugh on wide open on the left. It's one of those choices you make, and then if it comes off, you're brilliant. If it doesn't come off, everybody questions you.
Good work by Carly Lloyd tracking back to sweep that up. Johnson looking to thread it in for Morgan. It was Martin, the defender, who was able to do enough.
I think the referee has been pretty solid. She's kept the card in her pocket. She's made good calls. She's controlled the game.
Long ball, and that's going to tail out for the run of Molo. Marian Leon Serpas, 30 years of age, as we said, former midfielder for El Salvador's national team. She was a referee at the Under-17 World Cup a couple of years ago. It's not just about development of players throughout CONCACAF and the world's referees as well.
And that's important. It's difficult for some female referees to stay with the pace of the game. And since she's been in situations where she's been involved in high-level games, she can stay with this game and see the fouls as they come.
Actually, one of the things I noticed at the World Cup last year, there were a handful of referees, former national team players. That pass skipped through past press.
Interestingly, Heather O'Reilly has mentioned the idea of possibly being a referee. She's nothing serious about it, but she said that she really thinks it's important for former players to be involved.
Press knocked away by Vilakazi, but the Federation has always offered a fast track to former players, men and women, to get them into the refereeing ranks, to help make it as easy as possible. No one has ever taken the opportunity, shockingly. Molo on the end of the long ball. South Africa in transition.
They're not getting enough players forward, though.
Molo's driven cross, nowhere near Samposenwe.
Well, if Heather O'Reilly wants to become a referee, she'll be able to keep up with the play because she's fitness.
Abroad as Carly Lloyd gives away that foul in the middle. Had been playing in Iceland previously.
That may change, by the way, John, because I've seen a couple players out here. Mathalo is one, the 18-year-old. She's got something. You might see some NWSL coaches taking notes at home, too.
Lebon Ramalepe is off, and Leandra Smeda is on.
And that's something that Coach Powell talked about, that the more games they get like this, the more games that they're seeing, and they can play professionally in other countries and have hope for the future.
Van Veek sends in the free kick for Samposenwe. Sauerbrunn up with the header. Sort of echoing what you said a moment ago, Tony. There's no one else up there for South Africa to try to get on the end of that rebound.
You don't know what their fitness level is. It's probably not going to be what the USA fitness level is. But number 2, Ramalepe, who just came out, I thought she was a pretty solid player, too, out on the flank.
Well, the South African League, as we said, it's semi-professional at best. It runs from March until December. And that employs most of the players, although they have been in camp since November. South Africa, since qualifying for the Olympics for a second straight tournament. They've got a handful of players, as we talked about, in U.S. colleges. In fact, a couple like Roxanne Barker, the goalkeeper, born in South Africa but grew up in California. Also Stephanie Mallory, born and raised in California to South African parents. Good defending by Sauerbrunn there. And it does seem a concerted effort now with their federation, with their sponsors, who we heard in the pregame, trying to help put on this game to get a greater level of exposure, to try to raise the level of the women's game in South Africa. Bird for Pugh was behind her.
Again, I said it in the first half. Every time Alex Morgan checks out of the center, Van Beek follows her there. Somebody, and she just needs to drop a ball off. Somebody needs to make a diagonal run into that space.
Flag is up for offside. I mean, if you're New Zealand, if you're France, if you're Colombia, within the context of the level of the opponent, what are you thinking watching this U.S. team a few weeks out from the Olympics?
Well, you watch this game and you watch that Japan game, and you see when you put pressure on the United States, they tend to give the ball away quite frequently, and you can transition easily in that back line. And Japan made them pay for 3 goals in one of the games, and South Africa is just doing a nice job in organization, and they're transitioning well into the attack.
Good work by O'Hara, tracking back to break it up as the U.S. lost possession. And that's Lindo Matlalo, the 18-year-old rising young star of the South Africa team, who's gone down.
Yeah, I agree, Kat. I think it gives these teams some hope, maybe some plan. But the USA has many layers that they can just keep improving at. And generally, when a team thinks they played a pretty good first half against the USA, it's a trap, because the second half, the USA goes up another level. We haven't really seen it in this match, but we might see it yet.
The U.S. does have the final warm-up game in just a couple of weeks against Costa Rica and Kansas City, and there you see it. Belo Horizonte will open up against New Zealand, then France, then Colombia. We're without Yoreli Rincon. That was the announcement yesterday. Star of their team out with a broken leg. This is Motlalo, who is down right now being treated. And I guess the other side of the equation is, if you are South Africa's opponents, they'll be against Sweden, China, and Brazil. Is this a team that could at least be in all 3 of their games, unlike 4 years ago when they were in the Olympics?
Yes, they're capable of beating China. Brazil is a question mark to me, Cap, because I don't know if Brazil, men or women, can deal being the host, because there's so much pressure on them to perform. And I think the danger team in that group is Sweden. Danger team for the USA. Sweden has kind of underperformed. They underperformed in last year's World Cup. I think they're ready to go to another level.
Second player, South Africa, have had to take off on a stretcher today. Linda Motlalo is off. It will be Amanda Dlamini getting set for what is, according to the South African Federation, her 100th appearance for the national team at the age of 27. Has been playing for them since 2007, and she's on now.
Making their 4th change, South Africa substitution, leaving the game, number 8, Linda Motlalo, replaced by number 9, Amanda Dlamini, in the 61st minute of play.
So a half hour left here in Chicago. An ultimate game for both of these teams. South Africa will have one final friendly in Brazil once they get there, before the Olympic tournament begins for both. As we said, the big takeaway we had from talking with Jill Ellis yesterday, she has the roster more or less set in her mind. This was more about fine-tuning style of play, maybe answering 1 or 2 questions for a starting lineup standpoint. But 30 minutes left, regardless of anything else, for players to impress before everything is locked in, the rosters are announced, and it's all focus on Rio.
And really the only question marks are Megan Rapinoe and the decision between Whitney Ingen and Sonnet, who she's going to take in that center back position. I tend to go with Whitney Ingen for experience. They said that in studio as well. I agree. I think with this young team, you need some experience in there, and Whitney Ingen brings that to the table. And from what it sounded like and how Megan Rapinoe was talking, it sounds like Megan Rapinoe is ready to go. I would not be surprised if she's on that roster.
Right, I agree. As Ali Wagner said, if she goes down, there's replacements there in Brazil. So she'll bring leadership. She'll bring maybe some really inspired 10 or 15 minutes at the end of games, maybe as many as 30. And she is a free kick specialist.
Megan Rapinoe, who has been out since the torn ACL in December ahead of that game in Hawaii. And she's back with the team. She's been in practice. Jill Ellis saying yesterday they removed the contact restrictions, although Rapinoe told us one of those things where you start to get everything together and it all falls apart again. And she had a couple other issues of muscle soreness in the last few days of practice. The big thing Rapinoe told us was if she can be herself, even for 30 minutes coming off the bench, that's fine. But the issue is whether she could be herself. And she said, I think I can be honest. If I'm not going to be the player I need to be, to step aside and give that opportunity to someone else on the roster.
Pretty good attack here by South Africa.
Molo trying to get the cross away. We'll reset to Smith. Out for a throw. Mallerby got Lloyd up in the air. Gets the cross away. Only Sauerbrunn is there. Lloyd under pressure now and taken off the ball by Dlamini, and then commits a foul.
I think that's the next step for the USA, is to build out of that pressure, keeping the ball and not making it dangerous. And that's the area that I think they're most vulnerable.
Because that was an interesting foul call. I didn't believe it was a foul, and Carly Lloyd would have gotten tackled in a very difficult position for the United States to defend that.
Offside flag is up on Kristen Press. The referee electing to play on as Mallory Pugh picks it up and plays out wide for Lloyd. Morgan running inside. The back heel for her. Van Veek, the defender. Morgan, deflected cross in behind. U.S. corner, number 8 of the day.
Yeah, Van Veek is a good defender. Not only is she the organizer back there, but she steps quickly, and you can see they're all pretty good 1v1 defenders.
Yeah, she's smart when she steps. She sees when the attacking player puts their head down, and she's able to tackle quickly.
Then they play this short corner to Sauerbrunn to send it in. Barker got caught in traffic. Ball bounces in front of Lloyd. Long trying to pick it up. Van Veek goes to ground. Long back for Dunn. It takes the deflection. Van Veek clears away. Sauerbrunn holds it in. Almost the entire South Africa team is inside their 18-yard box still. And another U.S. corner upcoming.
And I don't love this corner kick to Becky Sauerbrunn just because of the angle from where her ball comes, especially when you have Carly Lloyd and Allie Long in there right now, and Julie Johnson as well.
The one thing it does is it gives the attacking players longer to get rid of their defender.
Great little move by Klingenberg to create space. Now the cross. Lloyd attacking back in front. Johnson had a swing at it. And it's eventually cleared away by Nyandene. The backdoor pass for Long from O'Hara. Hard tackle by Vilakazi. Player who had a clearance off the line from Long's header and had that last-ditch tackle in Alex Morgan's attempt. 10th corner of the game for the U.S. Played short for O'Hara. Sauerbrunn. Crystal Dunn was in a pocket of space. The pass was overhit. And we can tell you word from the South African bench, Maflala, the last player who was stretchered off, just leg cramps, they're saying, which is good to hear. And here's the U.S. might be having more substitutes coming up in the next few minutes.
I see Megan Klingenberg stretching, so I wouldn't be surprised if Krieger comes on the right and maybe Kelly O'Hara goes to the left.
Malaby lost that ball in the sun. Just swept away by Nyandene in front of Morgan. Nyandene for Mallerby. You get the sense, unless something really crazy happens in the last 25 minutes, South Africa is going to come out of this feeling pretty good about themselves and about their chances in the Olympics as Pugh will reel their way free on the outside.
If we just heard that Krieger might be coming in for Alex Morgan, which would probably put Dunn in the center and Kelly O'Hara up on the wing.
Pugh was trying to play for Dunn. Barker just got that away. O'Hara takes the bump. No foul forthcoming though. Van Veek up into the space for Molo. Klingenberg backed off her. Now Molo running through. Hands off central for Dlamini. Pass back inside. Well read the whole way by Allie Long.
I think regardless of whether or not the United States scores a couple more, South Africa has to take away a lot of good from this game because they have sustained this pressure, they've sustained this crowd, and they've really shown us a nice style of play.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the puzzle pieces are moved around as Ali Krieger replaces Alex Morgan.
Versatility. You can see Kelly O'Hara going to the wing, and Dunn and Press. One of them is going to be the center forward. The other one's going to be the attacking midfielder.
Sample Senway quickly forward. She's onside. At the nutmeg on Krieger, couldn't get back on the ball. Second change for the U.S. They have 4 left. Von Veek letting fly from distance in the first attempt at goal today. Forcing a save out of Hope Solo.
Well, now Crystal Dunn has gone to the left side. Kristen Press more in that 9 position, and Mallory Pugh in the 10. So this is interesting to see the changing of these front 4. And Jill Ellis talked about how versatile they are up there, and their mobility is some of the best she's ever seen. And you're seeing that right now with all this interchanging going on.
Well, that's what these matches do. They give you opportunities to test some things out that may come in competition. It's not a bad idea. You're up 1-0 second half to put Ali Krieger at defense because she is a bit better defender than Kelly O'Hara.
That's the attack that breaks down once again. Early ball for Sample Senway. Krieger defending her. Johnston providing cover. The back heel read the whole way, taken away by O'Hara. Press looking to hold it up on Von Veek. Now Kristen Press turning and running. Rolled in for O'Hara, who slips, and Vilakazi intercepted. Return ball on the outside for Vilakazi. Krieger trying to close her down. Early cross under hit. Now the game getting a bit stretched out. Just over 20 minutes to go. O'Hara for Press. Off for Pugh. Krieger, I don't think that was meant for Klingenberg, but and she's able to keep it up there. Lloyd's header wide for Crystal Dunn. That's the game's only goal back in the 35th minute. Julie Johnson trying to direct traffic. Now Krieger, Press in front of her. It's in for Press, laying it off for Pugh. First time, easy stuff for Roxanne Barker.
Still good build-up by the USA. Kept the ball for a while, and that was a good ball in by Krieger. Good layoff by Press, and Pugh just didn't get it all.
If Press had just kept that on the ground, though, Pugh would have gotten a much better shot off. I like her confidence, but just a little bit better set play from Kristen Press.
That was the first shot on goal of this second half for the U.S.
Yeah, but they've been very dangerous, especially on set pieces. And here's where South Africa is going to struggle. They need to figure out an attack. They need to try to break down defenses. And they really haven't had a lot of ideas when they've gone forward.
We were able to step up and knock it away. When we talked off the top, each of you had sort of a big theme you were hoping to see today. What do you want to see in these final 20 minutes now, particularly with this different looking setup for the U.S.?
Well, mine was all about cohesiveness in the back line, and now that they've put Ali Krieger back there, it really isn't going to miss a beat. She started in the World Cup for this team. They know each other extremely well, and so far this team has done a nice job. Even when the transition has happened for South Africa, they've stayed calm and they've been able to weather that storm.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen a great possession, probing possession, speed of play type possession from the USA. And that's something that maybe in these last 20 minutes we can see.
Smeda playing long. Sauerbrunn there with the header. And that was the big thing Jill Ellis told us about yesterday, the positioning in the build-up, giving better options to players on the ball, being less predictable, particularly the teams that will try to press them in the Olympics.
With the front four, they have such creativity with their runs and on the ball. But the problem is they're so creative that no one else really knows where they're going, and that's why they're giving the ball away in the attacking third. So there might need to be a little bit more structure for them going forward so they can probe a little bit better and then use their flair and creativity going wide and going through the middle.
Meanwhile, Hope Solo 18 minutes away, having made 2 saves from an unprecedented 100th career shutout.
That's an amazing feat, and to be honest, Hope Solo is the best goalkeeper that's ever played in the women's game, and I don't say this lightly because Brianna Scurry played for me and she was fantastic and the best in her era, but Hope Solo is not only won big titles, but getting to 100 shutouts is a remarkable feat.
It would be if it stands her 150th career win, and it would leave her just 3 games short of 200 for her career. Good work by South Africa to win that ball back as Krieger and Lloyd were trying to carry it forward. It's Johnny who started the day as an outside back, now in the midfield. Flipped back across for Sarah Posenwe, and her cross too close to Solo.
South Africa, they're just a bit confused in their attack. They take one touch when they should take a couple, and they take more touches when they should just take one touch. And that's something that this experience is going to give them, and they can see where the pockets are and when they need to play, when they need to hold the ball, and when they need to transition quickly.
Krieger then lost it as she was trying to spin inside.
I agree, Kat, and I think they have to, when a ball might get served in the penalty area, you got to make runs. You can't just stand and be marked. You got to make a run. You got to move defenders. You got to wrong sight defenders.
Dunn speed to win the ball now on the end of the return from press. Dunn waiting for a trailer. No one was there. Hugh was closest to it. Lead off for Nyandere. Johnny was the target. Krieger alert to it. Johnston was up there trying to find press. Almost got through a second time. The center back playing long. Sauerbrunn got to it. Sam Posenwe couldn't keep it in play. For a South Africa team who all agreed, their coach and technical director along with them, this was the biggest game any of them have ever played against the world number 1. Big NFL stadium in the U.S. With the Olympics on the horizon, Vera Pauw and her players, the big thing they said, we just don't want to be intimidated. We don't want to back down. Certainly have not done that through 75 minutes.
They'll take a lot of confidence from this match, even if they concede a goal or two. And it's not all the USA not playing great. I think South Africa had a lot to say about how the USA was able to attack or not able to attack in the match.
Nyandere stepping up there. Just in front of Lloyd, the pass up ahead for Molo, knocked away by Johnston. Trying to clip it to the backside. Sam Posenwe offside. Flag is up. Jermaine Sam Posenwe just stretching herself out down there. For more on her, Julie's downstairs.
Jermaine Sam Posenwe is going into her senior year at Samford University in Birmingham. She told me that she's given a lot of advice to her South African teammates about the United States. The team, that they were going to be more athletic and physical than them, so they had to treat them just as another 11 players, but also the country of the United States. Many of these players have never been here before and were asking questions like, what is Target?
It's the little things sometimes when you go on these visits, but it opens up a whole wide world for you, and it is neat to see because we see the quality of a lot of these teams increasing. Some of those teams that were at the World Cup last year, their level is increasing. News today that U.S. Soccer has added more clubs to their Girls Development Academy program for next fall, trying to raise the level of young players coming up in the U.S. Dunn's cross, Von Veek's clearance. Near to press, but she couldn't get on the end of it. You've got the quality of NWSL continuing to increase. Klingenberg tackled off it to the point that there's this interesting conversation on Mallory Pugh. Is she better off going to UCLA or going to the Portland Thorns for her professional development? So some very encouraging signs in the weeks before the second major tournament every 4-year cycle in women's soccer.
Now you mentioned the U.S. Soccer's Girls Development Academy. That'll launch in 2017-18 season. It's about emphasis on player development, more training, better training to game ratio.
Klingenberg can score from here. We've seen it. She lets that fly. Easy catch, though, for Barker. Roxanne Barker, 4th save of the game for her.
Well, going along with those development academies, there's a lot of pro teams that are involved as well. I know the Boston Breakers just got accepted into the development academy. Portland Thorns, there was a bunch of teams that were in, and now there's a new wave coming, and it just shows the development of women's soccer and how important it is to U.S. soccer and to other countries. A lot of times South Africa, this could have been an 8-0 game, but right now it's just 1.
Dunn's cross swept away by Montlu. Only as far as O'Hara. Pugh wants it on the other side. Here's the cross for her. It's knocked away.
And that just shows you the emphasis that these countries are putting on their teams. They're getting the proper funding, which means they're getting the proper coaches and players. And now you can see a well-organized South Africa team that could do really well in the Olympics.
Mallory Pugh accelerating. Fans rising to their feet at Soldier Field as Pugh cuts it back. Weaves past another defender. Try to thread it in for Kristen Press. It was beyond her.
You got to love her ideas. Just missed there. Just the last thing on the U.S. Development Academy for Girls. The organization that's done a great job, including developed Mallory Pugh and other players, the ECNL, the Elite Club, National League, should be rewarded for what they've done. I'm sure they're going to continue on. There's a lot of organizations that need to work with the elite players because we have so many players in this country, especially on the girls' side. You never know where somebody's going to emerge from.
Jermaine Sample-Senwe, we've been talking about a fair bit today. She is coming off. Tembi Kotlana, 20 years of age, who had a brief spell playing in Italy, now back playing in South Africa. Will be coming on is the 5th of 6 substitutions for South Africa, and Whitney Engen will be coming on as well. Subtle fist bump next to me, member of the Boston Breakers, and they'll get her on at the next opportunity.
Well, Engen coming on, Cap, may erase the last mystery in my mind as far as roster.
Allie Long battling hard to win that ball in the middle, then she's tripped up. The U.S. put the ball back in play too quickly. Minutes to go here in Chicago. The roster will have been named by the time the U.S. plays their final warm-up in Kansas City, just about 2 weeks against Costa Rica. And then Wednesday, August the 3rd, they open the Olympics against New Zealand.
And this is a good matchup to prepare for New Zealand, but New Zealand will have more attacking punch.
Julie Johnston is off for Whitney Engen.
When I watch Whitney Engen day in and day out with the Boston Breakers, and she deserves this spot if that is Jill Ellis's decision. She works extremely hard. She's playing some of the best soccer I've seen from her. She's disciplined, 1v1 defending. She steps really well. She's smart with when she steps and drops the whole back line. She's a leader. And I can't say enough because I do judge center backs a lot more than a lot of people because I was one, and she has impressed me very much just from coaching her.
Now Danny stepping up in front of Long there to win that ball. Right ahead for the substitute Klatlana. Flamini. Molo cuts back. Sends Krieger to the seats. Stabbed away in the middle by Sauerbrunt. And that shot will loop well over from Nyandene. The U.S. are going to start bringing the subs in now. Heather O'Reilly on for her 230th career appearance for the United States, replacing Kaylee O'Hara. Player has been with the U.S. since she was a 17-year-old high school junior. In the spring of 2002, 3 Olympic gold medals. It certainly does seem as if there will not be a 4th in her future. We'll see when the roster is announced for sure. But at 31 years of age, in the top 10 of U.S. appearances all time. And on for another today. Berg for Dunn. Touching the space there in front of Smeda, the defender, and it's going to be a free kick for the U.S.
Well, we've been talking about versatility, and I think that's the one thing that really hurt Heather O'Reilly going forward when the Olympic roster does come out, if she's not on it, because she is in a specific position while Kelly O'Hara is able to go from outside back to those outside players. We'll see what Jill Ellis decides coming soon, but with Heather O'Reilly, it's been a struggle for her to get some minutes under Jill Ellis lately.
Yeah, I agree. I think she'll be an alternate. Still an excellent leader.
Lingenberg over the free kick. Apparently went too quickly. And he's going to get a yellow card for that.
But see, this is why I really dislike that FIFA law. 2 yellow cards and you sit, because you might get a yellow card for a reason that maybe she put the ball down in the wrong place. Maybe the referee told her to wait before the kickoff, whatever it is. She gets a yellow card. 2 or 3 games later, she gets another yellow card, and now she has to sit. We saw that in the Euros. I just disagree with it.
In the end, they just lay it back for Sauerbrunn. She'll lift it into the box. Barker is there.
Yeah, too much fluff on that one by Sauerbrunn.
The U.S. was caught upfield a bit there. They were able to recover it. But Glatlana, as Barker got the punt away, was actually behind all the U.S. defenders. In an onside position from her own half. O'Reilly's touch inside for Pugh. Sense for both teams upcoming. Mallory Pugh has won the ball back. Pugh cutting back onto her left foot. Now looking to thread it in. Too far for Carly Lloyd.
You know, we haven't really seen Carly Lloyd on the ball very much in this half since she's been in. Just still trying to find her legs. She hasn't played in a match of this intensity in such a long time, but she still needs to get on the ball. They still need to find her because she's so good at distributing the ball to the midfield, and if their goal is to possess through the midfield, she is key to the United States in the Olympics.
Yeah, she looks a little rusty, as you would expect, but it's important for her to get those minutes.
There's Lloyd now. Barker immediately backing up to her line. Press. Knocked away by Johnny. And Dunn is tripped up. It's a free kick for the U.S. Both teams have players waiting to come on. After a brief hesitation, it will be Samantha Mewis, who makes her 12th appearance. South Africa's sub is going to be coming first. Banane Mbane. Just her second appearance, made her debut in April against Botswana in a qualifier for the African Women Cup of Nations.
Replaced by number 19, Banane Mbane. In the 87th minute of play.
Sub for the U.S. The team leader in assists, her 7th of the year in 13 games. Mallory Pugh is off for Samantha Lewis.
It'll be interesting to see if Jill Ellis now plays with two, holders in the midfield, or whether she just frees up Allie Long to go forward.
Klingenberg sending it into the box. Lewis attacking it.
The thing is, South Africa's still in this game. One breakdown defensively, and it's a tie. We saw that against Japan, how they drew late in the game down a player.
Lloyd has it knocked away. Ken, if you're one of these U.S. players, how much do you want a second goal, just from a momentum standpoint?
Well, you always want another goal, obviously, but they do need it.
U.S. letting the shot fly. It was blocked.
They came into this game not knowing a lot about South Africa, and they came in with confidence of their new style of play.
Barker there to get it.
But they just haven't really shown a lot. It's obviously a learning curve with this new style, but they're still trying to figure it out, and they need to gain confidence in this style going forward into the Olympics.
Good tackle by Klingenberg to win it back.
Well, I think that, it'd be nice to score another goal, but they don't need another goal. What they need to do is manage the end of the game. That's what they didn't do against Japan. They were flying forward, and all of a sudden they got kind of caught on a counter.
Long able to hold that up for press. Just beaten to it by Van Veek. For Krieger's driven cross. Press brings it down, hooks it in. Lloyd is offside. The flag is up. Oh.
So yes, try to score, but make sure you're not exposed. Make sure at least your two center halves, your two center backs, and your number 6 are always in well positioned.
Yantani takes the touch around Krieger. Less than 90 seconds plus stoppage time left in this one. Yantani trying to create space, and boy, how big a boost would that be for South Africa? They will take great confidence from this game if they were to snatch a goal late. Lloyd, early ball, Christian press and chase. Van Veek just trying to corral her now. Press waiting for support. Second chance for her to the outside. O'Reilly not going to get there.
Fans, please join us immediately following today's match for an exclusive post-game interview with our Budweiser Woman of the Match.
Janine Van Veek is shaking something out there. Word from downstairs, a 3-minute stoppage time coming up. 3 minutes away from Hope Solo's 100th career shutout. If the U.S. can see this out. Lloyd wide for Dunn. She's got the game's only goal. Confirmation 3-minute stoppage time. Krieger for press, her Fleck intercepted. A little bit of space for Johnny to push into. Morlo for Dlamini. Sauerbrunn is the defender. Cutting back, it's Kaplana in fact. Doesn't have the support. O'Reilly knocked it away. And that rush breaks down, and U.S. early for Lloyd, who won the ball in the air.
That was a pretty good attack again by South Africa, but Kaplana didn't take her chance, and she needed to probably try to bend it around Sauerbrunn and take a half chance. She held up the ball. The U.S. recovered. Kelly O'Reilly, working hard as always, gets back to snuff it out.
19,000 plus trying to make some noise to see this thing through to the end as Press lays it off for Allie Long. Lloyd's in front of her. Long letting fly. And it's up into the stands. And a player that we've been mentioning, the effective NWSL on the national team, none better than Allie Long, who had only a handful of appearances on her resume and has used the Portland Thorns, the work she's put in.
It's a good story
to this national team.
It's a good story, John, because I've said this. She contacted me. She said, Jill isn't returning my emails. And I said, you got to keep hounding her, and you got to be ready if you get your chance. And she got her chance. She came in. She was very fit. And to be as fit as this team when you come in on your own is impressive.
It was her first call-up in a little over a year and a half in the spring against Columbia. Started, scored twice in the friendly.
And she's consistent with this team. You can tell that the team likes her style of play. They play well off of each other. She has good chemistry. And she's just been a stronghold back there for the United States in the midfield. And she's really made Jill Ellis think about the roster spot for her, and she's proven it in the last couple of games.
No, she's got it. And here's the thing. She was always an attacking midfielder, but she knew that the number 6 position was something that Jill Ellis was looking for, so she's become a good number 6 player.
Dunn has tripped up, 30 seconds left. What did each of you learn from this game for both the U.S. and South Africa going into the Olympics in a couple weeks?
Well, I learned South Africa is a lot better than everyone expected them to be. They are very well organized. They're also athletic.
Van Veek, and it was held in by Long. It's Lloyd trying to get on the end of it.
They just need to evolve in the attack.
Lloyd crossing and looking for press.
Yeah, I agree with that. South Africa and the U.S. has seen that these teams are going to be organized. We saw it in the Euros. We saw it in the Copa America. These lesser teams are organized. They're able to hold down the bigger teams, in this case the USA, and they're going to have challenges in Brazil.
Long won the header, but it was cleared away just in front of Lloyd. And that's going to be the final whistle. Hope Solo, 100 career shutouts for the United States, 150 wins in 197 appearances. Final look Jill Ellis has, along with Farrah Powell, before they will name their respective rosters for the Rio Olympic Games. Hope Solo continues the list of superlatives on her resume and her career. Crystal Dunn, the difference maker today in the 35th minute. Back to Rob Stone and company in LA after the break as this one finishes. United States 1, South Africa 0.
Jill Ellis presenting Hope Solo with the New Jersey 100 career international shutouts. The U.S. is now 91-0-9. Having outscored the opposition 276-0 when Hope Solo pitches an international shutout. Congratulations to Hope. Congratulations to the U.S. women's national team. Really, congratulations to South Africa as well. A really impressive performance by them. The U.S. wins it 1-0. Let's take a look at our highlights right now. Only one goal to highlight, but a lot of themes. Megan Rapinoe on the bench, hanging out with the teammates. Carly Lloyd available, played the second half. Hope Solo got her 100th career shutout, but it was a turnover and a Crystal Dunn goal that was essentially the difference.
Yeah, and Kling wins this ball, plays it to Mallory Pugh. She realizes she has the time and space to take on, goes end line, plays a perfect ball with the left foot, and Crystal Dunn has to just an easy finish volley.
Pugh and Dunn getting a nice little combo work, falling into a groove. JSB with Dunn after the game.
Crystal, you score the game-winning goal in this tune-up against South Africa. Tell me how your relationship with Mallory Pugh has developed to so seamlessly get on the end of that ball.
Yeah, I mean, Mal is so good at getting in line and serving really great balls in, and every time, she has it and she's doing a 1v1 down the flank, all of us are just thinking, let's get in the box, it's going to be a good service. So, she's been awesome for us, and, she's been assisting up the wazoo, so it's really great.
And with the win today, Hope Solo records her 100th clean sheet. As a team, what does it mean to see her record this world record, especially ahead of the Olympics?
It's just an amazing, achievement from her, and she's such a great keeper, obviously, and, she does her job so well, and, she's just so solid back there that it's not a surprise that, this is our 100th shutout, so I'm just so excited for what she's going to do in the Olympics. I'm excited to hopefully have the journey with her.
Well, thanks so much. Congratulations, Crystal.
Thank you.
So Dunn, 13 international goals, 9 of them coming this calendar year. What were some of the takeaways for the U.S. today?
Well, I think she said it, assisting up the wazoo for Pugh. I think the left side was strong for them today with Kling and Pugh. Another bright spot was press, but overall, I thought the ability to not find Alex Morgan in behind really left them wanting in their attacking play. I mean, when that space isn't on, they weren't as creative, and they've got to have better decision-making, better ball movement, and better off-the-ball movement to open things up if they want to be successful in Rio.
Yeah, and I think this is one of those games that you want going into the Olympics, right? I don't think they're too happy with their performance. They need to have less giveaways in the midfield. But talk about Mallory Pugh and a Kristen Press, how good a games they had. And I thought Ali Long really solidified that number 6 spot. But really about South Africa, you know, they didn't give up. They played a hard 90 minutes. And for them to have confidence in their ability going into the Olympics with a performance like this, it's huge for them.
You saw the images just a moment ago of Hope Solo watching the big screen at Soldier Field of a video presentation honoring her 100th career international shutout. So Hope Solo and the U.S. women's national team getting another win. They have one more match before they head to Brazil and try and defend their gold medal. MLS Soccer Sunday returns tomorrow, sponsored by Audi and the red-hot NYCFC and David Villa. 4-match winning streak. They're going to put it on the line in Kansas City, taking on Benny Feilhaber and Sporting Kansas City. Coverage begins 8 Eastern live tomorrow here on FS1. You can also watch it live on Fox Sports Gold. Game's only goal, 35th minute. Crystal Dunn, the game winner. The U.S. wins it 1-0. Coming up next, Major League Baseball, Yankees, Indians, Kevin, Eric, and the Big Hurt standing by for MLB this Saturday.